Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Dang, first of all, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it.
You know, I got something to say about that damn marquee. Not only the marquee, it's the Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon. It's so
Rebecca,
amazing.
you've had a whole year, you've had a whole 6 months to do with it what you want to do with it.
You know what's crazy? Because I thought, we didn't know what was gonna happen. And now,
It's been your show for some time. Whatever you want to do with it, you can get rid of the white man who's saying,
who do I call? Who do I text?
You can call Bob, actually. Bob called me the other day. Remember Bob?
No, do I remember Bob? Bob was at my grocery store, remember? And he was asking me about tomato soup. And I'm like, Bob, it's me, white man, it's me. And Bob was like, oh, how are you? Where'd you get that tomato soup? I'm like, Bob, you were my producer for years.
Yeah.
Hello.
Bob's a good way. There's some good white people in the world. Bob is one of them.
Bob is a good Republican, kind of like just a dab bit racist, good man. He's a good man.
Just a smidgen, throw in a little dash of racism for a good Southern, but he's not,
a little salt and pepper.
On a scale of races in America, he's better than a lot of liberals. I'll be honest with you. I trust Bob more than some of the other folks.
Bob was worried about me when I was jobless after the
incident.
After
the first incident,
because it's about 5-10. But that incident, and he said, he was worried about me, and you were like, Rebecca, he's still worried about you. And I was like, he can call me. He didn't. So before, I think you guys had just got off the phone, Ben. Instead of using the number, he done emailed me, hey, this is Bob. And I wanted to just check up on you. And I thought that was so sweet.
Look, man, Bob's a good man. Listen, you don't grow up in the South without a dash of racism. But his racism is poorly seasoned, the rest of the meat, their foods. It's salt and pepper. It's not he don't have the Old Bay concentrated racism. Nah, he's a good
hit
dude.
Piece. It's not. There's nothing there to really give it a. Remember when he gave us?
Uh-oh, I don't know this story. Where's this one going?
Remember when he gave us that food?
Hey,
Ben, I'm not.
Bob could be watching. It was great, Bob. The food was delicious.
No, the only one that you like is the poker beads. You say, Rebecca, nah, the other stuff.
No, you think of so now this is how I know you racist too, because you think about the other white man.
No, I know. I'm saying you didn't trust that other food from Bob's folks with me, but when the poker beads came, you came.
No, it wasn't pork and beans. It was red beans and rice.
Yeah,
and it was some of the best red beans and rice I've ever had. And it came from a white dude.
Yeah.
So shout out to him because I want his recipe. Yep.
And no, you came in the office secretly like
you need to try these right here. Good morning, everybody. DJ Exclusive is in the chat room, bro. How's it going, man? Happy birthday week to you. Right, this is the birthday week.
It is. His birthday's gonna be on Thursday. I'm sorry, my nail that's hanging off. I was gonna glue it back, but I ain't gonna do that on air. So let me just pull it off right here. I broke it yesterday. But
have you got no professionalism about you since I've been away? None.
None. I apologize. Things are it's crazy. But what's great is, yes, Bubba's birthday, DJ Exclusive's birthday is on Thursday. That is what he's calling a national holiday, but that's he's part of Like It or Not. So it's a national holiday for us here as well. So on Thursday, we're definitely going to be celebrating him. He won't be here. He will be popping in like he is in the chat. So head over to his pages, show him some love, give him some love, because it is
send him some cash apps for his birthday this week, y'all. Because high key send everything. Yeah, DJ X3C on Cash App. Run him some coins like Mario 3. That's one of my bars. So nobody take that. Don't take that. That's one of my bars. I'm sorry.
Mario 3, not Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nah, run me them coins like Mario 3 on the castle level, where it's just nothing but coins. You just jump up and down and get coins.
Oh yeah, where you're jumping up on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So definitely run him some coins like Mario 3, as stated by Benjamin P. Dixon. However, we have some great news to add to the national holiday that is Bubba's birthday. Today, we can actually celebrate and breathe a little bit easier because Raphael Warnock, he won, Ben. Raphael Warnock won yesterday's runoff
Listen,
election.
I was off air for 2 because election days are stressful for me.
Yeah.
Last time I was covering an election day and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Got to set me back a little bit. I snapped. I was like, it's so god daggone hard to get anything good in this blankety blank country. So I said, you know what? Let me just go off the air for 2 days and let the election happen. Thankfully, fascism only came in a close second. And Warnock did his thing. So shout out to him.
He definitely did his thing. So Georgia Senate runoff between Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker came to a close on Tuesday, with Warnock projected by all the news outlets to defeat Walker after more than a year of campaigning, multiple controversies, and record-breaking turnout. While the race didn't determine control of the Senate, it did increase Democrats' power in the chamber where Vice President Kamala Harris currently has to break ties rather than see the Republicans win a 50th seat and create procedural obstacles. Warnock celebrated his projected victory on Tuesday night in Atlanta, walking out to a crowd chanting 6 more years. It was beautiful. After a hard-fought campaign, or should I say campaigns, it is my honor to utter the 4 most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken. But I'm going to show you guys what it looked like before. Here is, and I want you to play the funny video, Josh. Here is what people said, how Warnock was going to come out and do his speech. Let's take a look.
We go again. Here we go again. Listen, y'all.
Isn't that the boy from the dude from the Golden Girls?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I
recognize him.
Hilarious. Now, I felt that in my Shana that he was going to come out in that way. But let's take a look at how he actually came out yesterday for his victory speech.
Oh, the actual way. Okay.
Yes.
To utter the 4 most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken.
All right. And so, as we know, Herschel Walker lost. Let's take a look at his, it was a little lengthy, but let's take a look at some of his concession speech.
Did I win?
We want to take you live to Herschel Walker as he addresses his wrap-up party. This is his concession speech after losing the Senate runoff election in Georgia to Raphael Warnock. Have a listen.
As well, because you guys, without you, I couldn't have done what I've done. So I want to thank all of you as well, because there's no excuses in life. And I'm not going to make any excuses now, because we put up one heck of a fight. And I said, that's what we got to do, because this is much bigger. This is much bigger than Herschel Walker. And I told someone this the other day. I said, you guys, I've done a lot of stuff.
You sure have.
Talk about Heisman Trophy, talk about all the athletic awards, business
all the
awards
abortions
I won. But the best thing I've ever done in my whole entire life is run for the Senate seat right here. And the reason I'm going to say that is I got a chance to meet all you and to hear what you guys feel about this country. And I got a chance for you guys to tell me what you do feel about this country. I got a chance to go into your homes, got a chance that you invested in Herschel Walker. And I thank you. And I thank you so much. And as I said, you can't blame no one, because I want you to continue to believe in this country, believe in our elected officials, and most of all, stay together. Don't let anyone separate you. Don't let anyone tell you that we can't, because I'm here to tell you we can. And I want to tell you we can.
All right. Right there, John.
All right.
As I said early on.
Yeah. Okay. Not bad, but one of his best speeches.
You know what? I was going to agree with you on that. I was going to go right into that. Is this where his intelligence came? Like, just because he lost, and all of a sudden that dumb role that he played, I mean, the dumber role that he played, where they really made him where they really made him the puppet and made him seem like this man who's speaking. When you watch the whole entire speech, he has more of a verb or an intelligence that I haven't seen throughout his campaign. That's in right. This speech. But tell me what you thought about it.
No, I honestly, like, I'm listening to him, his tone, his tempo, he's lucid. It's like maybe losing was an adrenaline shot that woke up his synapses and he was able to actually, but the stuff that he was in, like, honestly, it's giving a good speech over a pile of, dog feces of dog. He's talking about going and connecting with fascists. He's talking about going into the living rooms of white supremacists. He's talking about going and connecting. The best thing he's ever done in his life was run a campaign where he got to know white supremacy better. So he's eloquent in this speech for the first time, but still we got to remember what he's talking about are literally people who advocate for the murders of people in the LGBTQ community, people who shot at a 15-year-old black girl who was organizing for Raphael Warnock. Right. So his whole contingency is really a problem. And the fact that they came so close to winning is really scary. And I think everyone needs to wake up and realize that this fight is far from over.
Yes. And I think that is a great point to bring up. Yesterday, when we seen Raphael Warnock win, if you were watching it hour by hour, minute by minute, your armpits were sweaty like mine are now. It was just stressful. Okay. It was just like I was sitting there, wig off, just, head wrapped, sitting there talking to my friend with like the most depressed voice, trying to keep it just so together. And she's like, "It's all right, girl. What I love about you," she's like, "What I love about you was that even with all of what's happening and all of the no's that y'all got, voting wise, it didn't turn out the way that you guys wanted it to turn out. You're still pushing everybody to vote and let people see the power of voting." Because I'm like, girl, it's been hard. Okay, it's really been hard. And here, especially here in Georgia, us having to watch Stacey Abrams lose the way that she did again, knowing that voter suppression had taken place, knowing that activists have been hitting the ground since before 2020, but since we got back on this thing, and we've had Cliff Albright on here, Renita Shannon, Park Cannon, so many other activists who have been hitting the ground locally, using their platforms to discuss any changes that are happening under Kemp, small things, which are huge things, but small things like them moving the where to go put their ballots, the ballot boxes, moving the ballot boxes, moving poll locations further out, so that people who usually have access to something in those small towns, in those primarily Black communities, then they don't have the access, or putting fear in people and making them think that if they were former felons or whatever,
that's right,
they're not going to be able to vote because they'll be put in jail. Or people who lived on top of storefronts and getting letters saying that they've committed fraud because they put the same address as a store, which is their address. These different things that we've seen happen over the years, which voter suppression is huge and has played a huge role, which whether people like to admit it or not, has played a huge role in how voting goes, especially here in Georgia. We know how it is in Florida, Texas, and these particular states. It's been a wild ride for us. So last night I was just like, Lord, Lord, please do it for us. We've seen Herschel Walker on top. We've seen Raphael Warnock on the bottom. We've seen Herschel Walker leading, Raphael Warnock leading. And hello?
Oh, I'm about to say, now, who is this?
I don't appreciate y'all cutting off my concession speech, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it now while I'm on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Herschel Walker. We have Herschel Walker on the line, just so everyone knows. Herschel Walker.
All the vampires, all the vampires, they won, but it was okay because the werewolves, we still good. And I'm still going to be the goodest coon for y'all that I can.
I'm sorry, Herschel Walker, your signal got a little bit janky there as you passed through certain parts of Georgia on your way back to your house in Texas. How do you feel this morning?
Right. Well, I feel that the election was rigged, and I know I said don't blame nobody, but I didn't write that speech. That piece was written by somebody else.
Now,
I do blame a lot of people.
Now, Herschel, you sound a little different from how you sounded during your concession speech yesterday. You sounded more actually intelligent. If I, for lack of a better word, not to be rude.
Did you get hit in the head this morning?
Yes, I did. Somebody, that was a clone. That was not me. That was one of the reptiles. The reptiles that got me, and that was not me. They told me that just to stay in the hotel room, and that's what I did. And then here it is. Then all of a sudden, I'm driving back to Texas. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. So Herschel, right now you're on your way to Texas?
That is correct. That's what I stay in Georgia.
Wait a minute. Wait. Which house are you going to tonight? You're going to the house in Texas, or you going to the house in which one do you?
I'm losing reception. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm losing reception. I gotta
go.
Protection.
He's losing protection. Like he lost the erection.
Oh my goodness.
But thank you, Herschel. Thank you, Herschel, for checking in. So Herschel's a loser. Herschel lost. Ben, you made the best point ever, and that was, listen, it should have never been as close as it was.
That's right.
And I think that while we're focusing on the win, I love that. We needed that. I am still embarrassed that Georgia allowed me to watch the poll go up and down. And I didn't like that because I didn't like to see Herschel Walker in the lead by over 1 million. No, they were both at 1 million at this point, but by over just the skin of the teeth, they were both neck and neck. I'm like, are we about to do another double runoff? What? I am tired,
boss. Tired. It was and that's the horse race, right? They it was one thing that's really dangerous in this country is our ability to get excited over just the mechanics of elections. Like, it's exciting to hear the MSNBC fanfare, dum, 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 election night, and all your pundits are on around the table, and then you change the channel and you hear the opposing side from Fox News, and and so it's all exciting. But at the end of the day, we're talking about literal fascism being so close to getting power in this country that we beat it by like 30 votes. I know it was 90,000 votes, but in the bigger scheme of things, it should not have been that close.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't have been that close at all whatsoever. But it shows us what we're up against, right? Imagine if the people didn't work as hard as they did to head out and go vote. We really did what we had to do. It's just that they're going to make us work 10 times harder. 1 million times harder. And yesterday we played around and we did a commercial about Republicans against Herschel. And that's a real thing that was happening. There are some Republicans, like you said, who would have been part of that Republican crew? Bob.
Republicans against Herschel. Yeah.
Republicans. And it was Republicans holding each other accountable. And that's what it was like. The group was called that. I don't know, but it was lots of, campaign ads. That's a new thing. So there were lots of campaign ads against Herschel. I feel like it was, more of who's the best black to go for. I didn't like that black. But then
what else they did though? I don't mean to interrupt you, but I noticed this morning, and I know I should have noticed this a long time ago, but they got a black man with Warnock Walker.
Yes,
they
sir.
really got the name so close. And this is a standard tactic that consultants do. If they could have got somebody with the same last name, if they could have got a black man by the name of Warnock to run against Warnock, they would have done that just to confuse people. And so they got as close as they could with the WA. But anyway, I don't think that's one of the reasons it was too close, but I know 100% without a doubt that went into their calculus.
No, Ben, I believe it. And that could have been actually a reason. I know you said that may have not been, but people are just as incompetent as the Republicans think they are. Okay. So I'm telling you, because
they old, especially the old folks. Come on, let's not be too hard on the people.
Oh, Warnock. Old. I really can't.
My eyes betraying me this morning.
No, but Ben, that's a great point that you put out. I was going to touch on as well. See, we're right here with it this morning. Listen, they knew to get another black person. I was saying yesterday that they wanted to fit the quota for the inclusivity for the Republican Party, and they thought, okay, what black person can we get? Trump, do you know anyone? Allegedly, the son who went on, and the son who is Herschel Walker's son, I forget his name. You know the young man's name? Christian Walker, who we know to be a menace on social media, who is part of the LGBTQIA plus community and has a problem with the LGBTQIA plus community. And he actually went out yesterday and said this is over, took to his social media in a series of tweets and said Trump was the one that contacted his daddy and begged him to run because he was black, and said that he would be great for it. And I agree, there was nothing about Herschel Walker that screamed qualified there, and that's literally just enough. We like you, kinda.
You black and you can walk, you can talk, you got enough functioning digits to sign a check. We
had your back during football. You remember that? Remember that?
Mm-hmm. You know they love going to get them football boys and taking them from the community and sending them somewhere else.
Talk about it, because that's what I see. I think that he still is in a place of trying to feel accepted. And these people make him feel accepted because they probably, he was in he said it. He's from a podunk little town in Georgia where his family is all military, and and you can only go but up the street, and then you made it all across all through the damn town, right? And he said his family didn't go to school, so he was like saying these people took him in. Then he said he watched this could be a lie, but I don't know, because I know someone who actually is in sports. I talked about this yesterday. He said he nannied for Trump's kids.
Oh goodness. Herschel Walker did?
That's what he said. He said it in the speech, but he be lying, Ben. He be lying. He lies. But he did. I watched him say that in the speech. He said that verbatim. Wow. But it made me think about other people who I know, white folks who are rich, who have taken in black athletes, and in exchange, the black athletes watch their children.
Wow.
Yes, okay. That's the whole thing. I feel like he feels like he owes them his life, because in comparison to how he was raised and brought up, they took him in, they glorified him when he was on the football field, all of that. So I feel like anything that they say, he'll go with it. And I was talking to my sister. I said, I really feel bad for him because he's being used and abused. He's really dumb when it comes to politics. I don't hate to say it, but the man is dumb when it comes to politics. And I feel like they were telling him the dumber you can be when you sit with us, the more of your speech impediment that you can show, it'll make the people feel some kind of way for you.
I can hear
in that. That's why in that concession speech, we heard a person. I'm not trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, y'all. He doesn't belong in politics. He doesn't belong in that Senate seat. He's not qualified for any of that. But I feel like he has to let go of whatever that hold is them whites have on him. That he got to let go of that thing. He got and live his own life. Go free yourself, my boy. Go free yourself. And not in politics. We don't need it. It's sad that we had to see him we had to crack on him the way we did.
Yeah.
Listen,
everybody gets it. Listen, we're cruel in just so people understand, like, it's a part of black culture. It is to roast people to be really proficient at it at an early age. And we really have no mercy. This man there's all kinds of things that could have been wrong with him. The easiest for us was the fact that he was dumb. Thank God it wasn't an actual stutter, because we would have been called ableist. We would have gotten trouble, because we would have roasted him, quite frankly, the way he deserves. Because you said the key thing, Rebecca. I get that maybe white folks was his ticket out of the hood. Okay, I get it. But then there's still something to be said about where your connections. Can you go back to the hood? That's my thing. Like, Kanye's the same thing. Kanye don't know nothing about politics other than what Candace Owens taught him. Man even said he don't read a book, right? He came out of the hood. Well, no, he didn't come out of the hood. He came out of like the hood adjacent. He come from the same class I come from. He was hood adjacent. Ain't grow up in the hood day in his life, but he walked through the hood every now and then, and he can make music. All right. But he gets out here and he starts spitting this political nonsense, and he looks like a complete and total moron. So it's not the idea that black people are just going to support somebody because they're black. Okay. Number one, is insulting. But number two, you have no idea how we would drag them through the mud if there's something about them that just ain't right. And there was something about Kanye West and Herschel Walker that just ain't right.
Yeah, no, you're saying a lot there as I try to get my light together. No, Ben, we have so many stories that are going to touch on this. However, shouts out to Raphael Warnock. We're going to continue to celebrate that. For everybody who is drinking, have a drink for me this morning. I am fasting from drinking, but I could use about 2 or 3. So if you are celebrating with us in Georgia today, have a drink for me. Ben, this next story, I actually wanted to pull from yesterday, right?
Okay.
I want your conversation. I already said my piece yesterday. If you didn't catch the show, maybe we can just discuss it between me and you at our kitchen table, and the world can talk. But I don't really care to extend any explanations to people who haven't gone to HBCUs. But Ben, when it comes to Deion Sanders, I brought it back for everybody who's watching. When it comes to Deion Sanders and Jackson State University and how he left the school, or maybe how a lot of what's being said in the media about both HBCUs and Deion Sanders, what is your take on all of it?
Well, I want to start. I kind of want to know what you think about it, right? I have no problem. I already said my piece on my podcast this morning. Everybody can go download that, and I'll say it again here. But a lot of folks are mistaking, in my opinion. They look at opportunities and say, of course he had to take this opportunity, right? They were going to pay him 7 times his salary from Jackson State. And I get it as a person who's trying to, maybe Deion Sanders was broke. Maybe Deion Sanders was house rich, right? Or house poor, where you own stuff, but you don't have an extra dime. Like, he has the appearance of being a wealthy man and didn't have an extra dime to spare. So he needed to do what he needed to do for his family. Maybe. But the prime time that I was showed was a free black man, was a man who was free from anybody's criticism, a man who was ostensibly free from the controls of money, a man who was free enough to go into Mississippi, go to an HBCU and flip a paradigm on his head where black talent goes to white control.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was thinking about. I love Jackson State. I grew up in Brookhaven, Mississippi, Alcorn, rivalry with Jackson State. Love the band, all those things. So it's a deeply rooted, connected thing to me. But to be honest with you, the only question I have right now was, did Deion need the money?
Okay.
Should it matter? Does Deion need the money? Yes. And here's why. Because everyone who's giving him an excuse is saying he had to go make the money. Okay, so then did he need the money? If he needed the money, go do what you got to do. But Deion, let's be transparent. Like, you either actually came there to make a career, to make money, and this is a move. This is what you do. You go to a place, you stay there for a couple of years, you don't get stagnant, boom, 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 you move. Okay, you were doing it for the money. Were you doing it for the attention? Were you doing it for the fame, the notoriety? Well, that's a whole different category. We can't really, you can't measure that. That's his own decision. He's going to do it. He wants to be known as a college coach that goes down with the legends, coaching at a top tier school. I get it. That's his prerogative. Did you need that though? Mm-hmm. Because I tell you what, black folks needed. Black folks needed control over their talent.
Yeah.
Black folks needed to be able to take the best of our community and send it into our community and then thrive off of that. Let the community thrive off of it. Let the HBCU thrive off of it. Let black folks in general around the country see another vision, which is our black talent ain't got to go to white institutions in order to get opportunities. Mm-hmm. So tell me, did your notoriety, did your fame and your career path, did your money require that? Because what I saw was a Deion Sanders who was a free black man who had no worries about money. He didn't care about none of that stuff. And what he told me was that he was on a mission from God. Kanye said they all on missions from God, going out here, doing the 2-step at the game. That's what we do. Okay, it ain't shucking and jiving. That's just our culture. We out there popping a lock. We're going to do it. Do the damn thing, Deion. But you told me you were there on behalf of black people. Now I'm confused. Which one is it?
Which one is it? And I think that's from, and you are also somebody who attended an HBCU. And I always say, if you've ever been to an HBCU, to courses at an HBCU, for just been at an HBCU, you understand how much of a sacred space it is. If you come in and tell us, this is your plans, this is a black school, I'm a black man, I'm going to push this, I got you guys in mind, no matter where we are with it, no matter how no matter how far the fall, no matter how high up we are, I'm rocking with you because there's a change that needs to be done. We're not talking about just the change of fame. Jackson State has always had its name, regardless of Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders has had his name, regardless of Jackson State. Both of them benefited from each other. So stop with the one-sidedness of look what Deion brought over there. Jackson State was an HBCU before Deion Sanders, okay? They have more than just their football team. The football team with Deion Sanders became a thing, but they have more than that. They have the band. They have a lot of history that goes into that school. But I'll say this, Ben, you brought a video with you as well, or you did share a video as well with, I think it was like a CNN clip.
Yeah, Bomani Jones, he actually puts it into really good context. And
we have that.
But before I play this, I want to say one more thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people we support. Like I've had this conversation with quite a few people, and there's black folks on all sides of the equation of this conversation about Deion Sanders. And I saw in our comment section, like somebody said he did a good 3 years. Why does he have to give his whole life? Here's the thing, folks. We know at the core of the United States of America, as well as the core of the problem in the United States of America, is individualism. The desire to put your personal issues and your personal whatever it is above everything else. And so the question is if we are ever going to get liberated on every single level, because I don't care what anybody says, a football team, a football league, the money that comes from it is liberation style money. That's reparations level money. It wouldn't be a check from the government. It'll be a check from all those people coming into the stadiums to watch black people play the games at HBCUs and to drive millions of dollars into our community versus taking our talent from our community. And so we'll never get there if every single person in this country is programmed to just do what's best for me. And so the question is, do we expect more out of Deion? You're damn right. I expect more out of every black person who knows this stuff. Like, you know this is true.
Mm-hmm.
You know the most powerful thing that we could possibly do is control our labor.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Mm-hmm. And then you come in talking like that, and then you turn around and say, I'm out. Change my mind. Got to go take this extra money.
Yes.
Bomani Jones says it much better than me.
Yes. And before we get to Bomani, right, because I know he's about to spit. The point that somebody else made in the comment section is, that these schools are underfunded, these schools being HBCUs. We know that HBCUs are built systemically not to be or to be second to PWIs, to never be looked at as prestigious colleges and universities. We had to create those because we weren't allowed to go most of the times to these PWIs. There's a nuance here that people aren't really talking about. They're just saying, oh, I mean, if I made $5 million, listen to me. This is an HBCU. They don't want people to go, coaches to go out there and make that kind of money. They want to make sure that they reserve the celebrity and the great pay and the good environment and all of that at the big house, which is the PWIs. And we have to stop. And yesterday, that post that I posted, and I quoted here, we have to stop utilizing these black institutions as stepping stones for white ones. We have to look at the black institutions as the greatness that they are and treat it as such. Because if we don't do that, then they're not going to do it either.
I got to go one step further. We'll get to Bomani in a second. I got to go one step further because honestly, we see this happening in every single industry. If black people controlled the value of our music, right? Of what we bring to the music industry, what would the black community look like? Those funds are extracted. If black folks controlled the hair companies, the beauty salons, not the beauty salons, but the beauty stores in our communities, right? Where you go and get your beauty supply, the beauty supply store finally came to me. You can tell I don't go to the hair store. If we control that in our community, how much more would our community be? And then here's a disconnect. Folks are saying, well, black folks ain't supporting HBCUs.
Okay.
With what money?
Ben, thank you.
With what money?
Ben, I said that yesterday. With what money? I asked Bubba when he's on the show, I said, when you got out, and of course, Bubba is probably one of the few who said he got into his, he was able to go into his field of work. I'm pretty sure not getting paid what he should, but he was able to go into his field of work. People who graduate, a lot of the alumni, we have to scrape together money to be able to give back. Fortunately, me and my crew, our freshman 2007 at FAMU, we got together and were able to give back over $20,000 because we kept begging for over 365 days for people to drop $100, $1,000, $50, $10, $7 giving Wednesdays every week because we wanted to give back. It is hard. We can't just reach into our back pocket and give like other people who are millionaires. This is a rare.
And if we can, Rebecca, and if we are in a position to be able to give some money, guess who we got to give it to? Mama.
Yeah.
Uncle and them.
Yeah.
Cousin and them. Little Bob, we got to send it to Haiti. Little Bobby done got, you know what I'm saying? He needs some books for school. That's like the dream. Yeah, people don't understand. The dream scenario for Black folks is to have enough money to be able to make up the shortfall for the rest of your family.
That is the financial paycheck. I make enough to pay my bills, but the moment that I don't, like I miss a day of work, I miss a week of work,
this is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. But so now they're asking, and what they're asking for, you got to think about this in the terms of tips, in the terms of the restaurant industry. What people are saying, in order for us to, we should just throw our hands up and say, oh, we can't possibly keep our own Black talent because we don't give enough money to these schools, is analogous to saying we don't give these workers, these waitresses and these waiters, we got to, no, that company should be able to pay them more. And you want to know why these companies, these HBCUs, are not able to pay their coaches more? Because you take Tennessee State University for one. After this whole thing with Deion Sanders and Jackson State happened, Tennessee State University saw the largest enrollment of Black students in the history of the school. They had so many Black students enroll that they didn't have enough dorms for them. And when the president went to the government, the state of Tennessee, to get more money, the state owes them $600 million that they are not giving to that HBCU. So whether we're talking about it from the top level in terms of the government not properly funding these schools, all the way down to we don't control our talent, and so we can't drive up the prices of we can't sell ticket prices at $50. We can't have a stadium that seats 100,000 because all of our talented Black kids are going to Alabama.
Yeah, and Ben, to add to that, and then we'll get to Bomani because I really want to hear what he has to say. I didn't listen to that clip, so it'll be a surprise to me. To add to that, for people who are saying, I didn't say his name yesterday, I'm not going to say his name today, but I don't like our Black leaders who didn't graduate from HBCUs pushing out that HBCUs do not give back to their schools.
And I will say that. Type it in the chat. I'll say it.
No, you won't, because we out here trying to get, right. But I say this to say, for this person to be at the head of it because of their close relationship with Deion Sanders, we still got to call a thing, people. Love you, mean it. But if you don't understand the stress of what we're saying, you can't just say they need to give back. They need to give back. It's about such and such many of them that don't give back to the school. If you want to be paying the coaches more, you need to give back. And before we will go and pay a football coach more, we're going to go and put it into the classrooms. We're going to go and put it into the different facilities on campus. The football team is what y'all worried about. And for us to go be able to pay the coaches more.
Let the ticket prices, let the game pay for the football team. And that's exactly what they have at white institutions. They make so much money off of every single game that they literally don't need to take anything from the schools, but they still do it anyway because they're never satisfied. It's greed. It's individualistic. These coaches are out there fleecing those students. Shout out to all in the NAA. You know what I mean? The college league. Shout out to them. I'm mixing them up with the NAACP. Yes, NCAA. Thank you. It's too close. But shout out to them because their talent in general for generations has been exploited. And these universities and the top tier, the presidents and the coaches have become millionaires off of their talent. And they are expecting us to say that's okay for us to replicate in the Black community. We don't do that. And we shouldn't. And if you do that, you probably should have gone to an HBCU. You should have went somewhere that would have taught you more about how to be a tribe and not an individual.
And let's hear about because me and Ben are just going to keep going off the top of the dome right now.
And who is Swac, by the way? I don't know if you went over this, but Deion Sanders made all that. And listen, I felt a little something. Listen, I've been in Montgomery. I got roots in Montgomery, Alabama. Shout out to Alabama State University. I got to apologize to the coach because when Alabama State played Jackson State, I was and they got into that little scuffle between Deion Sanders and the coach of Alabama State. the Alabama State coach said Deion Sanders ain't Swac. And I was like, oh man, you sound like a hater. Deion about to do good things for the Swac. He about to da-da-da-da-da. Lo and behold, my man was right. Who is Swac? Who is Swac? It ain't Deion Sanders. He wasn't Swac then, and he ain't Swac now. He got to do what he got to do.
We cannot put before Swac. There was no Deion Sanders, right? But we were still in there talking our mess, pushing it like it was the best thing ever.
That's
we were
right.
Going to when ESPN and everybody were not speaking about us, not treating us as we needed to deserved college football attention or whatever. We gave it to ourselves.
That's right.
Why would we wait to go to a damn white university because, they're going to throw more money at us? We're going to forget about HBCUs and how to build them up, my boy.
Look,
let me tell you something.
We might not get to Bomani because go ahead, Rebecca.
People in the comment section are saying the football team brings money. Not at HBCUs, baby. Have you ever been to one? It's the band. It's the band.
It's the bands.
Anywho, even if they did put in money, what I love about an HBCU too is that because all football players are required to put their education first, right? Let me tell you this, my experience when I first went on my college tours. I said this story yesterday. I probably said it a million times before as well because I'm gonna repeat the story. When I first went on my college tour to HBCUs, they sat us in the middle. Florida State University sat us in the middle of the whole tour at Florida State. They made us wait in the lobby while we watched all the white kids that were on tour go past us, go into classrooms, go into this. My black, I didn't go to a black school, but it was our black organization at the school that took us on these tours for colleges, right? And all of us were black kids, and a lot of us were, some of them were football players. They took us, all the black kids, all of us, and sat us in the middle of the football stadium, and that was our tour of FSU.
Get the hell out of here. That
was our tour of FSU. We went across the street to FAMU. They brought us to where the band was at. They brought us to where the football team was at. The whole day, they created a curriculum for us to sit inside the classrooms. They got us little books. They made us do a day in the calf. They wanted us to actually feel what it was like if you were a band member, if you were a football player, if you were a part of the chorus, if you're a part of a dance organization, or if you were just a student, what your day-to-day would look like at Florida A&M University.
Listen, one last thing. Here's what's happening now. It's the same thing that always happens. The soul of this planet comes from black folks, indigenous peoples in general across the globe, indigenous populations for sure, black folks, and especially black folks who were extracted out of Africa and are descendants of slaves in the United States of America. The oppression has generated a level of soul that the world wants. They want this soul, and it pisses me off to no ends when I see that soul being simulated. It's like a simulacrum. It's the fake, it's the sweet and low version of sugar. It's the Splenda version of sugar. And you see this popping up at at white institutions. You see their white bands who normally march flat-footed. They don't high step. They don't dance. Now all of a sudden you see them dancing. Now all of a sudden you see them playing arrangements in the same style as black universities. The musicality is changing. Their chants are different. The sister, everybody, it was a big thing on social media when this black dancer went to a PWI and she took the dancing girl tradition,
the culture.
Right? The culture. She took that culture from black communities and took it there. Can we share? Yeah, great, cool, glad, y'all can have y'all Elvis to all the real stuff. But at the end of the day, if y'all gonna stop us from using our talent to make our money and to set our own people free, we should have a problem with it.
Yeah. So let's go over ahead and go to Bomani. I think, Bubba, I know you said you wanted to call in, but I don't want to go too far down with this conversation.
That must have been going at it yesterday.
We were, but let's go ahead and listen to Bomani, and then we'll move on to the next point. And before we do that, Snack Panther, you said that I was ignorant because the bands don't have TV contracts. I went to Florida A&M University. Look that up, and then you see about TV contracts there.
You got movie contracts at Bethune. Like, come on,
man. Like, come on, stop playing with it. Don't play.
We got commercial contracts. We had commercials for Cadillac.
This is the HBCU.
Just the marching band.
Snack Panther. There's
just the drum line. Just not even the whole. Not even the whole band. The drum line had a contract with Cadillac. The drum line.
Listen, don't play with it. Next up, let's check out Bomani Jones. Go ahead, Josh. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
He spent the last 35 years telling us there ain't but one Deion Sanders. And now he's telling us go find somebody else to do what Deion Sanders does. You can't have it both ways. I don't judge him for taking the job at Colorado. They probably increased his salary by something like 15 times, right? I totally get that. It all makes sense. But what he did was something that college coaches do all the time, which is you have to sell people 4-year, 10-year plans when your plan is always 1 year at a time. That's the only way that you could really pull that off. And so he came in and he sold a long-term vision for what was going on at Jackson State, but his goals and ambitions were always the Power 5 head coach. My take has always been he went to Jackson State primarily because he wanted to be a head coach, but didn't want to ever be anybody's assistant coach. So we had to find somebody that would give him a job and make him a head coach, and so he could have that on his resume, and then he could take that to try to get the job that he actually wanted. Jackson State was the place that could do it, and he did a lot of good work while he was at Jackson State. But all the bigger, grandiose notions of what he was doing for somebody else, no, it was what it always is. He did it for Deion, and that's fine if you don't tell us that you're trying to do this for somebody else.
Right there.
Can he do both?
Period. Point blank.
And I said that yesterday. If you didn't start out and everybody, we can go back and forth. But like I said, I don't argue. If I'm gonna stand on this point because I have I know what it's like to go to an HBCU. When somebody comes in and tells us, it could be your professor, it could be your dance teacher, it could be whoever. When somebody comes in and tells you, hey, I'm here because I want to build this up, not for no money in the world, because I know the struggles of an HBCU. I'm here because Black folks need something like me, and I need something like this. I want to be where I'm surrounded by like-minded people, and I want to help the world with my platform see what it looks like to be Black, to be educated, to be someone who's qualified, powerful. There's royal, because we come from history. The fact that the people who walked these grounds before us here at HBCU,
literal ancestors,
planting and literally planting seeds to grow things is what Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University to pay for their schooling, because they couldn't go to the school across the street. They couldn't go to the school across the street. They had to go take old plantations right up there on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida, and create FAMC. Stop playing with it.
You know what I mean?
Stop playing with it.
Like I can't stress this enough. Like with this exception, we don't know Deion's money issues. Sometimes the flashier you are, the more in debt you are. And he may very well had to seriously say, yo, I got 6 figures. I got 8 figures in debt that I have to take care of. And so I need to go and take this so I can get this debt paid down. That means that I got no problem with that, because you know what? My immediate family, the only thing I put over my collective tribe is my immediate family. Them little knuckleheads in there who gonna come in here in a few minutes and need a computer. And if I gotta take a job that I don't want to take in order to feed them and to get us out of debt, I'm gonna take that job. I'll work 3 jobs. That's one thing. Deion didn't give me that energy. Deion gave me that I'm a free Black man. I'm free on every level.
That he said that. That's okay that Deion was about Deion. But when you came in as a Black man, at a HBCU, and how you came in so strong and active in an activism form, we're gonna hold you to that. Just like we held some other people who are real activists in the world who turned around and didn't do what they asked. And we listen. If we can criticize them, we can criticize people who are coming into these HBCUs in these platforms and under the guise of helping and willing to take a pay cut, willing to take a rubber bullet to the thigh, willing to ride for these schools, willing to ride for these people, us, right? Because it doesn't look as glamorous as they make it out to be. It's tough. You don't get all the stuff that you get just from being white or going to a PWI. The way that he came in with all that activism talk, all that strength, how he was going to do Black this, Black that, the Lord sent him, he has something to do here, da 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 da. He didn't build up Jackson State, okay? Jackson State was Jackson State before he came there, and and I need people to understand that. Now I'll say this.
Come on, well, before you go past that part, please say that one more time. I hate to interrupt your flow. You're in the flow, but this is important. A lot of people are saying that he's done so much for Jackson State. No, do not get this twisted. Jackson State did this for him. He got to come out there and capitalize on the energy that Jackson State and HBCUs have. He got the ability to come out there and be a head coach when he had never been an assistant coach. Jackson State did that. Jackson State provided the soundtrack, the platform, the finances, the opportunity for him to come out there and shine. So for anybody who thinks he's done so much for Jackson State, cool, but you better juxtapose that with everything Jackson State did for him.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. It's a difference. And somebody said, Rebecca, if MSNBC came and offered you $500K salary, would you stay on the Ben Dixon show? Let me tell you something.
I'll be like, you better go get that money.
Ben would send me on my way. However, this would be something I still do. I work another job while I do this and I hold this down. This is where I can be free. I can have these conversations. I'm not pigeonholed to a contract that tells me how to speak, how to talk, how to walk, how to do whatever. Okay. Like, and one thing about it, you guys will always know the same way I came is the same way I will leave. I won't leave you guys wondering. And then you see me hopping off of a jet at MSNBC talking about y'all can't afford this with my Louis Vuitton bag. I never gave y'all last episode. I rock with y'all. I never gave y'all any warning. The same way I gave y'all pressure when I first got on this joint. I would never leave y'all like that. Understand? It wouldn't be the same, baby. I'll go get that money and I'll figure out how I could take Benjamin P. Dixon with me too, in a way where we can bring the show with us. Because our goal is to get more money, but we're not going to knock down what is predominantly Black. My goal is to go work for people who are predominantly Black. That's where I want to be. If I have that option and they're paying me something I know I can live off of, where I'm also getting other contracts and going on interviews and doing all this other stuff that just I'm okay with. There ain't no
Rebecca,
greediness in my heart.
You don't even have to give hypotheticals here. The reason we are on the show in the structure and the format that it is right now, with the and this is no slight to our community, because we cannot survive with our community. So please don't take opportunities to be with bigger audiences. We have had opportunities to have bigger checks, and the people who either turned it down or just straight out shot it down because it wasn't right and God wasn't pleased with it are on your screen right now. Like, we shot down a couple of opportunities. I mean, we came out with them things and went head to head with two different groups of people who had all kind of money. They had all the money. And we said, y'all can kiss our Black asses because we're Black first. So you're living in the actual experience of two Black people who have shot down opportunities for the sake of our Blackness. So there's no hypothetical here.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to make sure that wherever I go, my Blackness is not like, I want to shine as me. I don't want money to be in my way when I know, okay, Rebecca, if somebody offers you this much and you are comfortable here and it feels good and you're just having a good, it's like working somewhere at a corporation. And we know if that corporation is giving us hell but paying us so much money, I'm gonna leave that joint. But there's a Black face over there, a Black corporation over there who treats me good and is just rooting for everybody.
And I can pay my bills.
And I can pay my bills.
And I got some insurance. I can go get my teeth fixed.
And then, hello. And then on top of that, they allow me to have mental days.
Or allow you to just be a little mental on air. This is okay. It's okay. We have those occasions too.
Talk about it. So this is what I'm saying. But I would never disrespect the people that help me get up there, right? That's something I would never ever do.
It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. And the HBCUs, I'm always gonna love. I'm always gonna ride for. I actually went to a PWI, and I can guarantee you the experience was not the same. I was grateful to be able to graduate from an HBCU, Florida A&M University. I was able to experience something different that I've never had in my life. I watched all spectrums of the university in all ways and all different people. We are not a monolith, okay? We don't need to try to take the culture and bring it somewhere else that doesn't belong, squeeze it in like a non-fitting puzzle piece. We don't need to do that.
You preaching, because the Lord laid on my heart this weekend. You don't have to be invited to the cookout when the cookout is in you.
Sha.
Hey, Lord. Hey. All right. What's next?
Yeah.
That's a good one, right? I've been working on some bars. I got some bars for y'all.
With that being said, baby, we're going to move on from that conversation because all of us in the comment section, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But
we love y'all all the same.
Yeah, love y'all, mean it. You know what I'm saying? But the next story, I want to move down here. I know Trump did tax fraud, but I want to move here since we're on this type of conversation. We're going to keep it flowing, right? Van Jones apologizes for Black silence on Kanye West's anti-Semitism. Yes, Ben, that's what I just said. Van Jones took it upon himself.
My God.
To apologize.
He follows me on Twitter. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, just let it rip as soon as we're done. Go ahead. Tell me more about this story.
Before you let it rip, I want you to see it.
Okay.
first. Josh, play the video. Play the video.
He don't speak for me either, Illuminati. He does not speak for me.
Okay, so while we're getting that video, a few things with Van Jones.
So who was he talking to? I saw a picture of it, but I haven't seen the video of it.
So he apologized on behalf of the Black community for their silence, over Kanye West's recent praise of Hitler and Nazis in a speech at the United Jewish Appeal Federation of New York. I'm gonna say that again because the braces. It was in a speech at the United Jewish Appeal Federation of New York. So it is a room full of Jewish folks. And he, and he was talking to them and he apologized. But I really want him to say it and not you guys to hear it from me, from his quotes. But he said in one of the quotes, the silence is over. We feel awful as long as we're turning against each other. We feel awful. But when we come together, we're awesome. And we're going to be awesome together. The reason this country is a democracy is because Black and Jewish people have loved each other and helped each other and supported each other and stood up for each other. So I put that there because that's the nicest part of the quote. But I want you guys to hear what he said. Let's take a listen at Van Jones.
My mother is Dottie Zellner. I'm her godson. Dottie Zellner was one of those crazy Jewish kids. In 1964, who had heard about what happened with the Holocaust and said she was not going to let racism and violence win. Crazy Jewish kid. And she was a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Black and white kids who decided that they were going to risk their lives and go down south and break the back of Jim Crow. And my godmother was the one that they picked to do the picking. They trusted her so much. They thought she had so much just good common sense that she got to decide which Black kids and which white kids could go and which ones were going to be too nutty and need to stay back on the campus. That was my godmother. She still got good sense. And she buried her friends. 2 Jewish kids and a Black kid got murdered that summer so that we could have a real democracy. We had 300 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow terror, and a bunch of crazy Black and Jewish kids went down in one summer and broke the back of Jim Crow. The light that we don't talk about. And because we don't talk about it, haters say whatever they want to. And it's time for us to tell the truth. The reason this country is a democracy at all is because Black and Jewish people have loved each other and helped each other and supported each other and stood up for each other. That's why you have a democracy here. Because the best in your community and the best are together. That's why you have a democracy here. And
I mean,
yeah.
So that's the power of editing. Whoever, not on our team, but this is like a social media clip. Somebody transcribed it
because
they left out the part.
They could not get when I first seen this clip was not available. It was only somebody who was at the event who was quoting his speech, and so they the person that was there.
Power of editing.
Yes, and they stated, and let me see. Can you put up the tweet of the person? Oh, here I actually have the tweet. So the person said, keynoting the UJA Fed New York Wall Street dinner, Van Jones apologizes to the Jewish community for the silence of my community, allowing an African American icon praising Hitler and Nazis, and we act like we don't know where that hatred came from. The silence is over. He actually continued. It was like, nah, yay, nah, yay, nah, yay.
Is that what he was saying?
Like he was saying stuff like that. The person was quoting what he was saying.
Right.
This person is Jacob Kornbluh, who was there.
I know Jacob's work.
Now, the UJA Federation of New York actually was the one who posted that clip. that clip. Right?
Oh, so for sure that was going to be, because honestly, okay, so there's two parts here. Yeah. He was referencing the summer that Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner were killed there. 2 Jewish boys and a black boy, young. Well, yeah, they're teenagers. They were young, who were killed in Mississippi, coming down to fight against Jim Crow and everything else that he said. All that's true. The history of black people and Jewish people working together is absolutely true. The silence from the black community is absolutely not true. Black folks have been warning y'all about Kanye for a long time. We've been warning y'all about Kanye. Matter of fact, I found a clip that I did on Kanye's false Christianity and his alliance with Nazis. I did it like 3 years ago, right? People, when Kanye came out and said slavery was a choice, black people were like sounding the alarms. Everybody was like, oh no, this cat has lost it. We don't need to. When he came out and said the anti-Semitic stuff, the number one people on social media doing anything about it were black folks. Like, we were into the fray, once more into the fray, once more. Like, we're always up for a fight. The thing is that they need a single person to be the spokesperson of blackness, and they're choosing that in this instance it is Van Jones, and he's the one saying we're going to apologize because what? There's no other figurehead, there's no other black leader that we were waiting on. Were y'all waiting on Michael Eric Dyson to come out and do a big speech? Were you waiting on Al Sharpton to come out and do a big speech? Were you waiting on a 1.5 million men march to come out and say, we condemn Kanye West? When all of us as individuals in our own platform and our own way have been saying it the entire time. The question is why did the other communities, including the Jewish community, not recognize us when we were trying to warn y'all about Kanye when he was attacking us based on slavery being a choice, quote unquote?
These platforms actually let him sit on these platforms. Like, these businesses actually let him create partnerships with these big corporations and these big businesses. Kanye became a staple name in fashion after he made his statements that slavery was a choice. He said anti-black things. He said anti-Semitism, and we've always been on this show, on different platforms, all down Twitter timeline, have had conversations. Of course, you're going to have a group of people who are like, yo, he's sick. We have stated this man is mentally sick. And that is, why are you guys allowing him to sit on your platforms to spew out hate and all these hateful things, this hateful rhetoric? We've seen the domino effect and the power that after he said his anti-Semitic comments, how much the world literally shut down. Corporations were like doing meetings immediately to see how they can remove themselves from their connections with Kanye West. Balenciaga didn't have an issue promoting that White Lives Matter shirt all through or whatever.
That's
and
right.
We were screaming, saying, Balenciaga, how dare you? How dare you push that racist rhetoric and all of that? But it was too much when he said the comment, and we agreed that it was still wrong, as it was when the White Lives Matter shirt came out. It was still wrong when WorldCon 3 or whatever he said about
DEFCON 3.
That's what it was, DEFCON 3. When he said that, we also said, how dare he say that? It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. But for me, I'm like, Van Jones, you can't speak for us, because I really don't remember you saying much, and I don't remember you appearing much when
he's been too busy collecting his money. I'm sorry,
baby,
$100 million, man. Like, bruh, where is that money in the black community? Because one of the things, one of the reasons
you use that money.
What you say?
HBCUs could use that money.
You know what I mean? Like, black media could use that money, because one of the reasons you don't hear a collective black voice is because black people ain't got our collective media. We almost had one, but somebody did what they do, and we ain't got no black media no more. You know what I mean? So where are you, Van Jones, as you apologize on behalf of the black community? Like, I don't see you in these organizing calls that we be on. I don't see you, and we be on calls with top tier black people, like top names across the country, trying to figure out how we're going to get justice for black people. I don't see you on those calls, man. Maybe you used to do them in the past and you say you paid your dues, but you got the money now. So why is that money trickling down to the black community? Or is that money, like the money that went to Black Lives Matter, the actual foundation, going to white consultants who are charging $2 million a year, and then all that $100 million just disappears real quick because you paid your white friends, but you didn't put that money to the black community when we showed up do better work than they do when we wake up out of bed, we roll out of bed and do better work, right? There's a paradigm that's happening, and Van Jones is a part of it.
Period. Van Jones, you don't speak for me. You don't speak for us. You don't know. I don't need you pulling up and apologize for yourself. I think there's some guilt there. There's some guilt there because you surround yourself with all of these different. You surround yourself with all these different types of people, and you always are trying to wear the hat that for that group of people. Be yourself, right? So people can see really who you are. Because if we would have never seen that you apologize for us, if we ain't have an ally, a Jewish ally in the room, we would have never seen that you apologize.
Damn right, Rebecca.
For black folks.
Come on. Come on. We know. Listen, some of my best friends. No, I'm not going to say that. Listen, some of the people when. Okay, one of the brothers, when I was in Noonan, Georgia, and the Nazis were marching, one of the brothers who was in Antifa, the ideology, because we don't have an organization, one of the guys who was hogtied and arrested by police officers because he was out there fighting Nazis side by side was a Jewish brother, right? Today, I mean, this is current events. We would not have even known what he said. The truth would not have gotten out unless we had an ally right there with us. So we know our allyship. We understand our history. Nobody has to explain to us, black people need to remember. We know. Unlike Kanye, we read. Yeah. So we're and unlike some people, we actually organize and we work with the Jewish community. And I absolutely know that some of the loudest and fiercest voices that go up against institutionalized power in the Jewish community, like AIPAC, that go up against the right-wing authoritarian government of Benjamin Netanyahu. They're not just black folks, they're Jewish kids and young women and young non-gender conforming individuals. They're like people who are born into the Jewish community who look at their own community and say something's wrong. So don't try us with this anti-Semitism that black people are somehow more. No. We're fighting side by side with allies who realize that there's a generational problem, and Van Jones is kind of demonstrating it right there.
We're fighting side by side with allies who actually understand there are people within both of our communities or whatever marginalized communities. This is what I know a real ally looks like. When they're the ones that be like, something ain't right here. Now, why would he be up here apologizing for these folks, knowing that they have been out here fighting their own battle as well and against their own? Kanye is one of us. As far as we know, he's black. He's a black man. And we, like how Deion Sanders said, he can't not be a black man. We look at the man and we know he's black, but his actions are anti-black, okay? And what Van Jones is doing is something that mirrors what Kanye West did, and that is your actions are anti-black. You speaking like all of the black community is not apologetic or not feeling a type of way about the Jewish community. You know what the media wants to do is really have us look at it and be against each other, right? And be against each other.
Wait, which community you say want us to do that now? White supremacy?
No, the media.
Media. No, I didn't. It cut out.
The media wants us what they're going to show and whatever they're going to show. They're going to show the reason why also they're showing or they're pushing the rhetoric and to help us look at the negative in what Kanye did as it pertains to the Jewish community, all his anti-Semitic remarks is because they want everybody to be outraged about it. But why wasn't the same outrage? This is two things that we can ask and still be allies with the Jewish community.
That's right.
And vice versa, right? We can push that to the forefront. But what the media wants us to do is do exactly what people are doing online and be like, hold on now. Keep the same energy. We can say keep the same energy and still be like anti-Semitic remarks are not okay.
Right. Yeah. No. It's people
was in the room with Van Jones. He was like, listen,
this don't sound right.
This ain't right. Now there are people that I've seen online that have been caping for Kanye West, that have been backing him and saying, wait, hold on now, really listen to him. He's saying something genius. But Van Jones, you are not going to categorize. You're the one black man in this room. You cannot speak for all the black people. You don't even fit the description. You ain't even real white. You ain't even, real black. Okay.
Yeah.
You got
Van Jones.
Listen, boy. You got 100 mil.
Rebecca, can you imagine Van Jones going to sit in organizing in the hood with with them boys?
No. He's about wait, hold on now.
Well, guys, what we got to think about here in this minute is
my boy, my guy, brother.
What you got to understand is I was doing this back when you were young. Yeah, nah.
How he started his speech killed me. I had a Jewish godmother.
fourscore years ago.
That's what it was giving, and if you know, she's a crazy Jewish.
Our forefathers.
she's you get that? She's a crazy.
Did you hear me hit my head just now? I just told my head.
You see how you're saying four score? He's supposed to say that with like a good Southern deep act. He can't even do it like that. He's my godmother. Crazy Jewish. It was like, sir.
Like he might have had some credentials. He might have some bona fide record, in his past. Maybe he's done some stuff that, maybe he's transcended and he's been able to operate in the Black community.
Yeah, no, we've seen
in the past
when he began. Thank you. We've seen him back when I was a little thing, a little journal back in college. Van Jones was actually what we looked at him like, okay, good journalism. He's coming out. He's one of the people who are speaking for us and things like that, covering great news. And baby, when a white man swing a little money in your face, baby, he swing a little money in your face. You just be like, you know what?
The voice changes. The voice changes. Kanye's voice. Every time Kanye comes out here and talks, he sound, and it ain't, it's not even just white. It's not even proper. It's this scared, high pitched, like mealy mouth kind of like, you lose your authority.
It's not even code switching because like I said, I've lived my life, balanced my life through code switching because that's what we had to do, right? And nowadays we're able to be ourselves. That could look like 10 different people because you're a Gemini, I'm a Taurus, and that could look like a couple
8 of them
people
over here.
And so honestly, though, seeing Van Jones, and like you said, he's in front of these people, he's not being himself. Well, maybe this is who he is today. When you get a little bit of money, when money makes you do different things, money makes you act different, be different, money makes you deny who you are. And especially when it comes from a certain type of folks, so that you can be the person who speaks for them, and they can say, Van Jones, who's Black, he said what Kanye was doing was wrong. And so that makes me understand that Van Jones he's a good guy. He's a good guy. But it's like, what about all the other platforms that said Kanye West should be stopped now when he started with anti-Blackness?
Facts.
Because we knew he was going to level up. We knew he was going to go anti-Asian. We knew that he can only keep going.
Now, I have to say this, though. I had no idea this fool was going to come out here in full. I love Hitler. Like, bitch, what? Wait a minute. When you even Kanye surpassed even my lowest expectations of him. I'm not even gonna. I was telling dudes in the studio months ago that we were in there messing around, and they were like, well, why are you going after Kanye? And I'm like, because Kanye's rocking with fascists. And they didn't see it then, but then now they hit me up and they're like, damn, dog, I guess but hey, here we are. Oh,
yeah, look, you're right, Roller Dragon. He shocked Alex Jones. If you can shock Alex Jones,
you can shock Alex Jones.
My God, that man is the scum of the earth. Alex Jones is, and you one-upped him in just 1 second by saying, he said, no, you mean, you're a fashions guy. Like you
like his fashion, you like his architecture.
Because boy, I just got this platform back, little ER. So you are not going to be talking about Hitler, another ER. We're not going to do that. Okay.
Oh man, Kanye surpassed all of my lowest expectations.
He went. Listen. Kanye said, "When y'all go low, maybe I take it underneath hell."
He said, "I'm taking it to some quantum low." Like he's going to, I'm going to the primary particles of low, and I'm going to say what nobody in this on the planet will say. And he says, "I like Nazis."
Listen.
Really? Okay.
And that was so disrespectful, but we said, get him off of your air. Stop playing his music.
Rebecca, did you Alex Jones impersonation again?
I don't know if I can get right at in the chronic smokers voice. You said you like the outfits now. It's right in there. It's chronic smokers. It's right in there. But,
man.
No, what Kanye did was wrong. It's always been wrong. To wrap up this whole segment, Van Jones, you don't speak for nan one of us. All of us have been saying it's wrong. But where were you when the anti-blackness conversation started? I want, like, you can't speak for nobody. Don't go into a certain community and go speak for us to make it seem like we were not there. What you're doing is very dangerous. It made it seem like we were not there for Jewish people. It made it seem like we were backing anti-Semitism as in general.
The only fair scare people working ever on our team. No, I'm joking. The only people with, like, you know, less melanin count than us that have ever worked. Of course, we're friends with Jewish people.
I love them.
It's some of my best friends. No, I'm joking.
Nordstrom Avenue for everybody, all my New Yorkers. Nordstrom Avenue in Brooklyn. You already know what's up. Okay, I work there. That's what I love it. I loved it. I love to see the culture.
Y'all know how many bar mitzvahs I've gone to? Like, come on, folks. Like,
come on. Drake's Jewish. If we want somebody to represent, it's gonna be Drake. Let me stop playing with y'all kids. No, but Kanye West has been on the road. Ben, you actually were going in on Twitter. Look, on Elon Musk's platform. You actually were going in on Twitter because Elon Musk, I don't think it was not the swastika. That yes, guys.
It wasn't
didn't know that there was a swastika that was posted on Twitter by Kanye West after his anti-Semitism remarks or his anti-Semitic remarks on the Alex Jones show. Not only the Alex Jones show, I think it was like on 3 more platforms that day alone. And he continued to one up himself on each platform he went to. He then went to Twitter and posted the swastika, and it was there for a little minute, just floating around, being retweeted. So it was bringing a lot of racism, a lot of hate. But it wasn't until Kanye posted a picture of Elon Musk that all of a sudden,
shirtless on a yacht,
getting sprayed up by another male,
getting hosed down by another man
on a yacht.
There's a little something special about that picture.
And it wasn't until that picture was posted that Kanye West and his hateful tweets were deleted. So was Elon Musk anti-Semitic? Is he for the people?
Elon Musk is a Nazi. Let's just be. I want to be clear about that. And
the swastika didn't make him upset because that swastika was there for us. It was rolling around for too long. His identity.
Yeah. That's his identity. And listen, it had been retweeted so many times. And matter of fact, I guess if we go and look at the timestamps, what I would like to see is if Elon Musk commented his comment about Jesus and the love of Jesus. He replied to Kanye West right in the middle of all this happening, all the anti-Semitic comments that were made, like all those videos were going viral. And during that time, Elon Musk had a little chuck, laugh it up with Kanye West on Twitter about Jesus. All right. Then Kanye West, I guess Kanye. Now, here's one thing I would say about Kanye. Kanye has no respect of anybody, including the richest man in the world. I dig that. Right. I dig that his last betrayal was of Elon Musk. It was not until Kanye literally said, always remember this was my last tweet. And he posted the picture in that tweet of Elon Musk shirtless. Not that there's anything wrong with it, man. Said it all. Have a good time. Do your thing.
For somebody to act like he is the baddest man in the face of the earth, like he is just that he's the
man's man. He's the alpha male.
He is the man, right? And then we see him and it's like, this is Elon Musk is here. But no, we see him and he's not giving us a thing. It just goes to show that it wasn't the anti-Semitism. It was just him being, this is why Elon Musk owns Twitter now. It's just a simple thing. If you go after his pride or if you go after something that he's subconscious about, that's what he'll do. He'll take over. It's not because he actually wants to change and make good in this world. No.
And it's actually, unfortunately, what is more about than anything else is the fact that social media presented a problem for the ruling elite of this planet. And that problem was social media connected the workers and the marginalized across the globe. It gave me the ability to interview a student from Palestine as Benjamin Netanyahu was bombing them And in that interview in real time, social media made this happen. You heard a bomb go off right next door, or like right down the street, right? Social media made that happen. Social media made the organizing around the George Floyd protest happen. The reason it blew up the way it did was because of social media. And the rich people around the world, the oligarchs, the rulers, the real rulers, the people. And I want y'all to, here's a pause. Think about this. If you think about how ridiculous the anti-Semitism of Kanye West is, ask yourself, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. You know, he's the one that's going out here buying up institutions. He's like, the richest people in the world are some white men, white Aryan descent from the Caucasus Mountains, white men, not Jewish men. They got some Jewish people up there, but it's white men. And so those white men and the people of Middle Eastern descent, the rulers over to Saudi Arabia, investors from Saudi Arabia, no telling who else is involved in this consortium that, I can't even say the word, that purchased Twitter. The problem is that they needed to be able to stop our organizing power that social media gave us. And so Twitter being the number one thing, he purchased that thing and he instantly turned it into a propaganda machine solely for the right. He's replying to Nazis. He's reinstating white nationalists. He's telling people to vote Republican. He's doing Twitter spaces talking about why the Democratic, he's literally doing everything he can to push us further to the right. That's because up until this point, social media, specifically Twitter, has been an organizing tool for liberation.
Everything Ben just said with all the big words, all the bells and whistles. And listen,
is this
guys,
another Dr. Mac moment? I don't know what he said. He must have been right, but we've been laughing about that all.
Yeah, that's it. Because Ben, you are
no, it is. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
You know me. That's crazy. Ben done said so much. That's crazy. I know what Ben really said though. And it's basically, listen, anti-Semitism don't live here. Okay. The people that you guys think who are these big billionaires, they don't care about any of these issues. They're gonna throw these events, they're gonna do all of that to make it seem like they care about these issues, but they really don't. You know who really cares about these issues? Ben, Bubba, me, the people who have these
people who need you to send us cash apps.
Yes, exactly. People who have these lower level shows like this one. I wouldn't say our show is lower level. See, I want to talk about like an HBCU. We're not a lower level show, but this is how people want us to walk and to act and to be treated. No. This is quality stuff right here.
That's
Speaking of quality stuff, listen to this is an anti-hate. Right? We don't do hate here. Okay. We love. Only thing we gonna hate is white folks not seasoning their food. I love y'all, but listen, we're in a great space where we can laugh, we can have a good time, we can have the hard conversations. This is what we need you to do. Support. I'm telling you, we are paying for this, not with anybody's help, not with anybody's. We are doing this ourselves till this day. We've been here, Ben, has been 2 years?
To at least 2 years. It feels like
2
going on
years,
3.
y'all. We need your help so that we can continue to keep it going. I'm happy to say we've been rocking this for 2 years and holding it down. It feels great because I remember where we started and where we are now. I'm absolutely happy about that. And I feel blessed and continuously with your help, you guys.
Patreon.com/like it or not.
If you are not a Patreon, yes, head over to patreon.com/like it or not. Again, patreon.com/like it or not to become a Patreon today. If you want, if you can up your pledge this month. It is December, the month of giving love. Give love on this is that month, right? Also, if you want to give directly, which helps us as well, right? It helps us tremendously. That is going to be Cash App, Becca's Voice. Cash App, Becca's Voice, Ben.
I want to give you Tigers Cash App TKATSUNE. Send that brother a blessing. He's a producer and he's been behind the scenes. And then of course we know DJ Exclusive birthday is coming up. Y'all send that man some love. DJ X3C on Cash App.
Yes. And if you guys also want to send to our producer Josh as well. Josh, drop it.
What is yours, Josh? Yeah, definitely send him. He's been holding it down. He's been here every morning. Josh Dixon 360. Cash App. Josh Dixon 360.
Josh Dixon 360. All right, y'all. I am heading out of here. I got to get to work. Ben, as always, thank you for joining the Benjamin Dixon.
Thank you for coming to your own channel.
Thank you for joining your own channel, my show on your own channel. But love to finally see you tomorrow, same time, same time.
You know what? I'm gonna let me see if I can make it. If I can make it happen, I'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear from my friend. I love y'all so much. You guys go and sin no more. All right. Love y'all.
In your lavender.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.